Here's ADA zoomed out on the weekly chart. I'm excited actually to dig into some data. I came across a video clip that I did back in 2020, a very similar time frame of where Cardano is right now. Awesome data, excited to show you, kind of new in that regard. And I want to just talk about ADA price, obviously. But before I do, I just want to say, if you're an ADA holder, if you're like one of those people out there, silent majority, I'd say like over 95% of you, you don't get involved in the crypto drama. You're not hate commenting on other chains because you don't hold that crypto. You're just simply, you're maybe a value investor with Cardano, and you're just sitting back, even with all the drama, the noise, the negativity, whatever's going on in crypto in general. But Cardano, you're just sitting back, you're waiting. I just want to say thank you. Just thank you for being out there, because truly that's my crypto journey. I'm actually a very introverted person, but I do sit here and I create content, right? I put on the camera, I create content, I track my crypto journey. Cardano, a big piece of it. I cover a ton of Bitcoin and other altcoins, but Cardano's a big piece of it. With that, on the front lines of content creation for Cardano, there's a ton of negativity out there, everybody. There's a ton of tribalism. And it's just like, can't I just be bullish on Cardano in peace? Like, it's just a cryptocurrency. And this is a big part of my journey. I see what I see on the charts, zoomed out. Let me just be bullish and track Cardano in peace. It's crazy. And I'm saying thank you because it's all of you out there. It's just encouraging to me to know that so many of you are just out there just hanging out, right? You're just hanging out. You're kind of putting aside that drama. And I try to do that every day. It's just, I get exposed to that drama a lot in the comments. But knowing you all are out there, it truly does help me continue doing these videos and just being open about my crypto journey. And I want to do that right now. I want to talk about ADA, where it is right now. And what's really cool is we have some content now going back years to really put the story together, and even as it relates to Cardano price in the short term. So please hit the subscribe, hit the like. Let's jump into the video. This is ADA on the daily chart. We're going to talk about it, just the setup, what's going on there. But truly, this is really cool. I want to just show this clip. This is from it says 3 years ago, but September 11th, 2020. September 11th, 2020. That is almost 4 years ago. Check out this quick clip. ADA was around just under 10 cents. Check this out. But if you can adopt a mindset that is in the macro environment, zoomed out on the charts, you can kind of develop some patience so that all these little moves that cryptos do, even this one, a seemingly big move, 50% or so to downside, they won't bother you as much if you're ready for these huge moves and understand, okay, if we're looking for a major shift in momentum in all these markets, right, in this cycle, we're talking years worth of data to shift and turn around. You have to have these big moves for continuation. That's the story. And when I talk about me tracking my crypto journey, for me, a lot of it is that. Just zoom out in the macro. Understand that these massive dips, they come along. Understand that depending on what crypto you are in, you might be in a bearish season while some others are in bullish seasons. That is just something I've learned in this space. Now, what's really cool in regards to that move, by the way, September 2020, if we're zoomed out now on a Cardano chart, September 2020 kind of back here. So this is the move that was happening. We're like in it. And there's been a lot of similarities in terms of that move compared to this move, this cycle around. This cycle around, right, here's the Bitcoin halving. Last cycle around, here was the Bitcoin halving. So as a starting point from a macro perspective, I just want to mention something. When that move was occurring, ADA was like around 100 days past Bitcoin halving. Right now, ADA is around 20 some days or so past Bitcoin halving, right? It's not even been a month since the Bitcoin halving, and ADA is in a very similar technical move. And the other thing that I wanted to mention was this, because the other side of this, and this is, I think, where maybe a lot of negativity comes from, and people fail to zoom out on the charts, no matter what crypto you're holding. Something like Solana right now has been outperforming Cardano. There's no doubt about that, right? And props to Solana holders. Good for you. But because that's happening, there's this narrative, and it's a short to midterm, I think, narrative that Cardano is just failing. That Cardano is never going to have a bullish season ever again. And I think that's silly. And you can actually even go back, and I've done this before, I've showed this, but you can go back to like even this move from Bitcoin halving to that swing high. ADA was up. If we actually go here, there we go. 180 all the way to that swing high 218. ADA was up, but you look at something like Chainlink. Look at Chainlink. And we're talking just, it was just going crazy. Chainlink up around 400%, right, from that move. So last cycle, because obviously we're zoomed out, we're talking about similarities in this move, that the time frame of this move. Last cycle at this time, there were other cryptos outperforming ADA. And I'm sure ADA was outperforming other cryptos, but this is just how crypto goes. And I just want to bring that up again because I really think a lot of people get distracted. And I posted yesterday on X, and we're going to dig into the charts here. People are giving up on Cardano already, and crypto has hardly entered its bull market. Altcoin season is still months away. People should try to temper their expectations. And that's just me. And I'll say this time and time again. Maybe Cardano, maybe all of crypto this cycle just takes off. Maybe I'm right, and the bull market hasn't even really begun. All of crypto takes off. And maybe Cardano just is sideways and doesn't do anything and it falls, right? Maybe ADA price just completely fails. There are no guarantees in this space. I'm always prepared for that, right? But to sit here and look at this zoomed out chart and look at the consistencies and look at historical data, which I've done across multiple cryptocurrencies. I've used Bitcoin as a roadmap, and I've seen so many consistencies. To zoom out here, I just see Cardano in a very healthy spot right now. And because it's been kind of an underdog to this point, I think that makes it even more bullish. Because it's been just an underperformer against some cryptos, I think that makes it extra bullish. Now, what I want to discuss is kind of the technical analysis aspect of this move that's occurring right now. I thought it was interesting. If you actually look at this clip, you see this green rectangle right there. It's a higher low Fibonacci that we were discussing. I think even just talking about ADA maybe going lower, right? It was 9.5 cents then. And if we go back and look at that chart, you can actually see it ultimately bottomed around, I guess, what was this? 7.5 cents, right? What I want to talk about is the very fact that if we go to the ADA charts now, right, we can draw a similar Fibonacci. And really what it is it's a swing low here to swing high. It's a higher low Fibonacci. And actually, if you look at this, ADA is testing. Look at this. If we chart this Fibonacci, ADA is right now testing the upper end of that Fibonacci around the 618, right around 45 cents. It's been for weeks holding that area. If we go back to this last cycle and this very similar move, I want to show you something I just thought was interesting as I was preparing the video. From the COVID swing low to COVID swing high, there's the Fibonacci, right? And you can just see that 618 being very much tested right around that 7.5 cent area, and ADA bounced. But what I want to talk about also is just the fact that if we look at that move, right, it's interesting to take COVID into account and say, you know what if that never happened? Would ADA have dropped so hard, or would it have been kind of like a bounce to the 20-week moving average, just a slow consolidation with no drama unfolding across the world and then moving higher? And in that case, if something like that happened and we charted a longer-term Fibonacci, right, and then we remove the COVID Fibonacci, check this out. Now we're maybe in a similar type of setup that ADA is potentially in right now. And look at that, just ADA hanging around that 618 of the Fibonacci. And then we go and we look at ADA right now, and we're like, man, again, let's take our Fibonacci on the weekly, swing low to swing high. There's ADA hanging around the upper end of the Fibonacci. It's just, no matter how you spin it, COVID in play or not, ADA's in a higher low move on the macro around halving. And actually, this cycle around, you can see it's happening just sooner, right? And at the same time, as we've already defined, there's other cryptos that are outperforming ADA right now. And last cycle, that was also the case. And to me, that's okay. I like to just say, you know what? I'm just bullish on ADA. And I would like to see, as a crypto person, how this plays out. And why people are triggered by that is crazy. It's crazy to me. I'm bullish on all of crypto, and I want to see Ethereum holders win, Solana holders win, XRP, Bitcoin. I want to see everybody win in the space. Part of this for me is Cardano, and you see what that looks like on the macro, and that's just me. Now we start digging into the charts a little bit, right? So we see that move on ADA on the daily back then, just big downturn for ADA. But I want to dig into what's going on right now. Here's the downturn for ADA. Let's talk about two things, downside and upside. When it comes to downside, it's very simple. The lower 30s is that target for ADA, right? Out of this rising wedge. We broke out of the rising wedge back here in beginning of April, around a month ago, consolidating now. Oftentimes with patterns like this, we'll see a drop halfway through or so. We'll see some structure trying to form, and then it'll continue down to the target, right? That's very common. Something else that's common though is a break to the downside and then a pullback to at the very least test the trend line it broke out of, and then maybe continue to the target. This could be very long out, drawn. There could be way more negativity, or we get the pullback and we break back in, and then we're in a busted pattern, which could end up being incredibly bullish for this underdog ADA. But let's just note, like the target to the downside is there. If crypto is going to fall, the target to the downside is there. But if crypto is going to bounce, and if ADA finds itself in an environment where, you know what, all of a sudden it does something crazy that shocks everybody, right? Because it's the underdog, just like last cycle. ADA is in a position where it could really just do something incredible, right? From a price perspective. But what does that look like from a just non-emotional technical analysis perspective? Very simple. We need to break through very crucial levels right now. The 20-day moving average around 47 cents, the 200-day moving average around 52, and the 50 moving average right around 53, 54 cents. That is a very small range. ADA is below that range right now. I'm not getting short midterm bullishness on ADA until we at least break these areas, right? That's just me. I'm long-term bullish on ADA, right? Even if ADA is going to fail here at this resistance and fall lower, I'm still long-term bullish on ADA. But short-term, midterm bullish, if we're going to get this pivot above these moving averages, that's the key for ADA. That's what ADA needs to do right now. And that's really what I'm watching in the short term. But to talk about that move, I wanted to zoom out in the daily a little bit, and I wanted to just note a couple of things when it comes to momentum. Very good to see momentum oscillator, the RSI right here with these higher lows, ADA kind of just consolidating sideways. That's a bullish move of momentum on ADA. What I wanted to show you was when ADA last bottomed out back here, sideways, you can just see for quite some time. This is basically for weeks, right? Sideways. But all the while, you can see the RSI escaping higher lows on the RSI while it's kind of going sideways. This was a key indicator that ADA was about to make a power move to the upside. This could be a key indicator that ADA is about to make a power move to the upside. Again, just an indicator. It's not a definite prediction, but that's a key indicator. That's exactly what we want to see on a momentum oscillator. You can actually even see the MACD line just cruising to the upside. You can see on ADA back then along that consolidation as it was forming that bottom back there. And we have something similar happening right now. This move to the upside, there's that MACD line, that blue line cruising to the upside. It's above the signal line in red, obviously, at the bottom of the screen. The histogram in green. The histogram was in green back here, right? And then what happened? ADA ultimately, after one more little dip, ADA had its break to the upside. And it got bullish once the MACD line right here in blue finally made its way to zero on this chart. And then that was the breakout move. So maybe ADA needs to be sideways a little bit more, choppy for a little bit longer. Maybe it's going to break down to the target to the downside. But either way, momentum oscillator is giving some bullish signs, some hints, some clues that ADA could be ready to break out. The timeline of that, it's just, you can't tell. It could be now, and it could be in a week or two, right? It could be weeks away. So this is what I'm watching, though. I think crucially, in the short term, it's this 50-day around 53, 54 cents down to the 20-day around 47 cents. That range right there, that's a key range for ADA that I'm watching. And it's going to be interesting to see how ADA interacts. Even right now as I'm doing the video, ADA is actually trying to make a little bit of a move to the upside, testing the 20-day moving average. Don't be surprised if the daily candle right here ends with a wick of resistance here. This is going to be actually kind of fun to watch now that ADA is making a little move to that area. We still have almost 9 hours left of the daily candle. Let's see how ADA interacts with this first area, this first challenging area of resistance for ADA. Can ADA break and close a daily candle above the 20-day? This could be the first sign that ADA is getting ready for a really nice reversal. And if we just look back here, what did ADA do? It closed when it was starting to make that move to the upside, this move that we're talking about. It started closing those daily candles above those moving averages. So that's what I'm watching for ADA. But all the while, everybody, I just wanted to zoom out for just a moment, just show you where ADA is from a macro perspective, take some historical data, especially because a lot of it ties into my own crypto journey. It's crazy. Almost 4 years ago, we're tracking ADA and we're tracking this entire journey that it's on. And everybody, I haven't even talked about fundamentals when it comes to Cardano, like what's getting ready to, I think, happen. There's so much opportunity within the ecosystem. Cardano becoming so decentralized. I think that's a really powerful play within crypto right now. The space is becoming more and more centralized. To have a top 10 crypto that is truly going to be like the most decentralized, I think that's a power play. I think there's going to be a bullish narrative there, let alone everything else that is going on within the Cardano ecosystem. So these are my thoughts on Cardano, everybody. If you're an ADA holder out there, I appreciate you. And I hope you have a good rest of your day. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the subscribe if you're not a subscriber. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.